Hey YouTube, it's Gavin. It is Sunday evening, so it is my shot day, and I realized that I haven't done a shot video since like my second shot, I think. And it's kind of a rite of passage for trans guys that have been on T for, I guess, more than a couple of years to do an instructive, informative shot video. So I'm gonna give it a go. One of the things I like to do is to get prepared beforehand, and a lot of guys have like rituals around shot day. Mine's pretty simple. I take a shower, get nice and clean, and then I come in the bedroom and get everything together and laid out and ready. So, as you can see, I've got my needle or my syringe with the bigger needle for drawing up the testosterone alcohol preps, the vial, and then the smaller needle for injecting. And I kind of had already drawn up my shot before I decided I wanted to make this video, and I used the last bit in my vial, so I'm going to use a stand-in. This is a vial of leftover lidocaine that I had from when I was a hospice home health nurse and had to do, sutures and stuff in the home. Anyway, so what I do first is take an alcohol prep, pop it open, take your vial, and you want to wipe the top off. And I'll do 1 1,000, 2 1,000, 3 1,000, 4 1,000, 5 1,000 at least. I've been a nurse for almost 10 years, so I'm kind of anal about infection control. And if you don't have a needle that or a syringe that comes out of the package with the needle attached, then please, by all means, when you take the syringe out of the package, if you're not going to immediately attach it to the needle that you just removed from the package, then please, before you adhere the syringe to the needle, alcohol it off. Alcohol both ends, connecting ends off, and don't touch them, and put them together as soon as possible so that they're exposed to air for as short a time as possible. Alright, so you've alcoholed off the top of your vial. You're going to very quickly remove the cap, because doing it slowly, there's more of a chance of you sticking yourself. So, I'm going to use myself as an example. I do half cc or 1 week, and then I'll do 0.75 the next. This week is a half cc week, so typically what I'll do is go ahead and pull it all the way back. I'm going to show you. Oh god, it's such a pain in the butt to see. Anyway, there's a real dark line where the 1 is. When you actually have the medication in there, I'll go over that when I get it. Let me not get ahead of myself. So, you want to pull the plunger back to the amount that you're going to inject. So if you're going to inject 0.5 cc's, shout out to Aiden and his t-shirt company. It always makes me think of that now. Go ahead and pull in 0.5 cc's of air, just like that. Take your syringe. You want to make sure that you hold it nice and steady, because you don't want to be poking yourself with this needle. It'll hurt. And just insert the needle, pop that air in, and then it should, when you put the air in like that, it should go ahead and start pulling back a little bit for you. But just go ahead and pull the plunger back. Now, once you've got that plunger, the medication in there, you want to make sure that you're lining whatever your dosage line is, so mine's 0.5. You want to make sure you're lining that up with the top of the plunger, not the bottom. Because if you line it up with this bottom part, then you're not going to be getting your full dose. So make sure you line it up with the top part of this black plunger here. So I'm going to put that top line. And if you'd like, some people don't, you want to line it up with the very next line below your dosage, so that when you get the air out of the needle, you're actually, after doing that, you'll lose a little bit of medicine to get all the air out. So if you pull it back to the very next line beneath your dosage line, then once you evacuate the air from the syringe and the needle, you should be right on your dosage line. So I went ahead and did that and pulled back to the line below my dosage line. Now I'm going to remove the needle from the syringe, and I'm going to show you a little trick that I would do as a nurse. I didn't have to recap needles often because that's a big risk, and they don't like to do that in the healthcare setting. But on occasion, I did. So this is what we would do to help prevent sticking ourselves. So I'm going to show this. I can't turn my camera around on this iPhone once it's facing me. So if you take your needle and hold it in one hand and just use it to kind of scoop up that cap. See how that worked? Pretty cool. And then you have the cap, and you can go ahead and secure it, and that really helps keep you from sticking yourself. Now, I used a larger gauge needle to draw up my medication. Testosterone is very thick and syrupy, so it's difficult to get in and out of a needle, so you want to use a larger gauge to draw it up. I mean, you can use anything as large as like 18 gauge, which is a water hose, but you should be able to draw it up pretty decent with like a 22 gauge or a 20 gauge. Anywho, now I've drawn it up. I'm going to remove this needle, and I like to pull the plunger back just a bit after I do that and put a little air in there so that I don't lose any medication accidentally. Now the needle size that I use to inject, because I don't have a lot of subcutaneous tissue, so it doesn't take a long needle to get to my muscle. I use a 27 gauge half-inch needle. Please allow your physician or your pharmacist to advise you on what size needle you should be using to actually inject your medication. Alright? Now, nice and sterile package, so I'm going to take it and pull it open, and be sure and pull it back in a way so that you're not touching the part that you're going to secure to your syringe and contaminating it. Okay? So don't touch that. Now, I haven't touched this to anything. I've been very careful to keep it from touching my hands or anything of that nature. I had it exposed to air a little longer than I like, but that's because I'm yapping. So I'm going to go ahead and very carefully go ahead and advance that plunger back up. Very careful not to lose any medicine there. Take it and go ahead and attach it to the needle that you're going to use to inject. So, there you have it. This is a nice needle because as soon as you're done, you can advance this over the needle and it's capped and locked. Okay? Oh, shucky darns, I forgot my sharps container. Always make sure you have your sharps container handy. Don't hold that against me. It's right in the living room, so as soon as I'm done, I'll go put it in. So don't worry. Yeah, so well, that's technically not my medicine. That's lidocaine. Here's my medicine. So, I mean, I guess I'll show y'all me giving myself my injection. I'm going to move my little camera setup down here to the dresser. Maybe y'all can see my booty cheek that way. Can you? Okay, yeah, you can see it. Woo-woo! Hopefully this doesn't get flagged. It's just my hip, really. So I've got a new alcohol prep. I'm going to go ahead and open that and set it to the side. Now, I like to give it to myself in my hip. Because it freaks me out doing it in my leg. That's just me. It's all about personal preference. Some people actually give it to themselves in the deltoid, and you can do that as long as you're not injecting any more than 0.5 cc. The deltoid is a smaller muscle, so it can't handle anything more than 0.5 cc's, or 50 milligrams of medication. So, here we go. Now, I want to do it in my right one, because I'm right-handed. If you're left-handed, do it in your